welcome to day 15 of Vlogmas. I'm Cath, my channel is made by Cath Craft and I really appreciate you joining me on this Vlogmas journey up until Christmas, where I'm talking about mainly sewing content, but also a bit of knitting and some chat thrown in too. And I'm really enjoying making these vlogs, so I hope you're enjoying watching too. So it's day 15, it's Wednesday morning and I've just got back from the school run and it's a very grey day out there today. I had to turn the lights on actually because it's so dull in here. But I've just got back and I thought I'd pop on and share what our cheeky elf was up to and what I'm wearing and what my plans are for today. So firstly, what Elf was up to. So if you've watched previous videos, you'll know we have a cheeky elf who comes to stay in December and every night he gets up to some sort of antics and my children come down and discover them in the morning. And last night he decided to empty out the contents of our children's book cupboard downstairs. We've got quite a few books in there and he used them to make a little sort of race course around the house, and I'll put up a couple of pictures so you can see. So it's quite a sight to behold. There were quite a lot of books. I didn't realise how many books we've got crammed into that cupboard actually. And he also made a little slide down from the sofa and we found him sitting at the top of the slide ready to slide down there. And he'd put one of his favourite books on the slide, I think, which is The Elf and the Shoemaker. And my children were quite tickled to see it, and a few of their teddies had a go of the slide too. It's all tidied up now, and the books are quite organised back in the cupboard now, because we put them all back, in a sort of in sort of their own sort of categories. So that's quite nice. One benefit of Elf getting them all out. So that's what Elf was up to. And then what I'm wearing today, I have got a handmade top and a handmade skirt on. And my top is a South Bank sweater by Nina Lee, which is one of my favourite sweater patterns. So it's for jersey fabrics and you can make it in a whole range of different weight jersey fabrics because there are 3 different options. So version A is a sort of sweater dress. Version B comes down to about your hips, and you can either make it in a sort of heavier fabric for sort of sweater to wear over things, or you can wear it in a lighter weight fabric for kind of more of a sort of lightweight jersey top to tuck in. And then version 3 is a cropped version that's designed to be cropped around your natural waist. And they all feature this slightly drop shoulder and this sort of stand-up neckband and then cuffs. And then the sweater dress has got a bottom band too. It's a really nice pattern and it's got a good size range too. So my version I've got here goes from UK 6 to 20, but there's also I think a 16 to 28 size range too. And the largest size goes up to, where's the largest size? It's for bust 54 inches, waist 47 inches and hips 57 inches. And in terms of the version here, I have made the cropped version, so I'll stand up slightly so you can see. So yeah, it just comes down to about my natural waist. And I made this in a fleece back sweatshirt fabric, so it's nice and cosy. And it's a really nice black fabric I got from Guthrie Garney, and it's got lots of little flecks on it, you can see. I've got this fabric in a couple of other colourways too. I think it's called Cozy Colours Fleece or something like that. I've got a red colourway that I made the toaster sweater in, and I've got a navy blue colourway that I made another one of these crop jumpers in because I find them really useful and I think they go great with skirts and also over jeans. And given they're cropped, they're surprisingly cosy, I find. And in terms of sizing, I made the size 8. I find Nina Lee patterns come up on the fitted side. So the size 8 is designed for bust 34, waist 26 and hips 35.5 inches. And I'm 32, 26, 36. So the waist and hips on this one, I guess actually the waist doesn't match on this one, but the hips doesn't match on this one, but I have used that size when I've made the South Bank sweater dress as well, which does include hips. But the bust is slightly larger than my bust, but I actually quite like the extra room because I've got a t-shirt underneath this, so the extra room just means it's not too tight on me. So it's a really nice comfy one to wear. It's quite a quick one to sew up, and I really like that pattern, the South Bank sweater. And then I've teamed it with a skirt that I made using this pattern here, which is the Estuary Skirt by So Liberated. This is a skirt pattern designed for woven fabrics. Essentially it's a skirt with a gathered skirt with a waistband, but the nice thing about the waistband is it's flat at the front and elasticated at the back. So you get the benefits of the elastic from being comfy and be able to easy to get it on and off, but I think the waistband that's flat at the front is quite a nice flattering front style. And it's got a button down front, and then you can make it in lots of different lengths. You can really make it any length you want, and you can add patch pockets if you want, or you can add inseam pockets. And it comes together really nicely, and it's another one with a great size range. This one goes from a size 0 to a 30, and the largest size, the size 30, is for waist 48.5 inches and hips 57 inches. And I think when I've made my versions, have sized down this pattern actually. I think I've made a size 0, and the size measurement. So size 0 is designed for a waist of 25 inches. And my waist is 26 inches, which is the size 2. But I found when I made the size 2 on my first version, it came up a little bit large. So I've sized down since. And I think with the elastic at the back, you can kind of adjust it a little bit anyway. And there's a bit of stretch, so if you do size down, it's not too critical. But I made my version as a mini skirt, and I omitted the front button placket on this one. So it's just a plain gathered skirt. So I'll stand up to show you. And I made this version in cotton Cath fabric that I got from Estuary. I made one order from Estuary. They have really beautiful cotton Cath fabrics on there and other really cool stuff on the website. I've seen some people buy really nice buttons from them too, and they're based in India. And yeah, I bought a little batch of fabrics from them, and I've really enjoyed sewing with and wearing all those fabrics. I love cotton Cath. I find it really soft and really nice to wear. It is a bit frayy when you sew it, but I find you can either French seam or overlock, and that's absolutely fine. I think I've French seamed this one. I'll show you the inside. Yes, this one I French seamed the whole thing just to make sure it will last. But yeah, it was really easy to omit the front button placket. I think I just cut it on the fold possibly, and then you just gather it in. It's a really nice, fun one to wear, I think, because it's got these large white spots on, which kind of make me think of snowballs a little bit. So I'll put a picture up of me wearing this outfit. I do quite like a skirt and top combination, and it's quite nice and comfy and relaxed to wear. So that's what I'm wearing. In terms of my plans for today, I've got the morning at home and I'm hoping to do a little bit of sewing. This afternoon I've got a few errands to run, so I've got to go out, and then my daughter's swimming lesson has been rescheduled from Tuesday to Wednesday this week. So I'm going to head straight to school after my errands and pick her up and my son and dash across to her swimming lesson, which is always a bit of a mad dash. So hopefully I'm going to now get on with a couple of house jobs and then settle down to a little bit of sewing. So I would pop on again in a little bit and show you what I've been getting on with. So I'll see you in a little bit. Bye! Hello, it's coming up to lunchtime now, so I thought I'd pop on and share with you how I've got on the sewing front this morning. So I've got a couple of little things sewn up, and the first one was a face mask. If you saw my vlog yesterday, so my day 14 vlog, you'll know I was planning to make a few face masks, one for my mum for Christmas and a couple more for me, given that face masks don't seem to be going away anytime soon here. So this is the final one I finished, and I made it in this tartan fabric that I used originally to sew a pair of pyjama bottoms for my husband. He's still wearing those. This is a scrap from the fabric. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I think it's a bit different and a bit Christmassy. So I quite like the fit. So that is my face mask finished. Oh, and in case you're interested and haven't seen my day 14 of Vlogmas, the face mask pattern I used is the Dorata Davies free face mask pattern. I find it fits me really well and it's comfortable to wear. And I'll link it down below in case you're interested in that one. And then I also went on to use up the scraps of my Rifle Paper Co Christmas fabric, the quilting cotton weight fabric that I used to make my cushion covers. And I've made some little tree decorations with the scraps. So I've made a little one in the green and one in the red. And I talked about using some sort of more glitzy ribbons a couple of days ago, but I found they were fraying really badly, so I decided to use some more traditional sort of creamy coloured ribbon, and I'm quite pleased how they turned out. So they're the two Christmas trees. They were quite quick and easy to sew, and I think they will look really cute on my Christmas tree or maybe one of my family's Christmas trees. And then I had just enough to make a couple more, so I made a couple of just little plain round ones. So I made one in the leftover red, which I think is quite sweet, and one in the leftover green too. So yeah, that's quite nice. That's pretty much all of the Rifle Paper Co cotton used up. Now I had half a metre of each colourway, and it's quite expensive fabric. It's lovely quality though, so I'm really pleased to have used every little bit. And what I particularly liked is when I made my toiles of these Christmas trees in the cotton poplin, they sort of stretched a little bit, I think because of the bias cut on certain bits. They kind of sort of didn't keep exactly the tree shape. But this cotton is really substantial, so it's kept a really nice sharp tree shape. And I've just stuffed them with toy stuffing. So yeah, I'm really pleased with all my little handmade Christmas decorations. I've always loved handmade Christmas decorations on the tree. And before I started sewing and knitting, I always admired other people's trees where they had handmade decorations. So I'm really enjoying now making some to put on our tree and making that kind of handmade Christmas tree look. So those are they. And what else did I have to say? Oh yeah, I was going to mention one other thing actually, just something that I find really handy when I'm sewing. I saw on Instagram a couple of months ago, Serena, who won the Great British Sewing Bee this year, and I'll link her down below. She just mentioned a little sewing tip she uses, which is when she sews, to collect scraps, she just uses a mug. And I've always really struggled with where to put scraps, and they often end up just littering the table. But recently I've started using a mug and just popping little scraps in as I go, like little offcuts of thread and little offcuts of fabric. And I find it really useful, and it does actually really help me to tidy up my scraps as I go. So I've actually asked for Christmas for a kind of sewing mug, so I can switch out this kind of plain mug for a sewing themed one, and then I'll know it's definitely my sewing scraps mug. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the rifle paperco fabric there is left. So yeah, really not much. And that's probably going to go into feeding one of my poofs, because they do bed down gradually over time. So I'll just pop those little scraps in one of my poofs. So I think I'm going to now go and have a bit of lunch, and then I'm going to head out after that for the afternoon. So I'll pop on a little bit later and catch up with you later this evening, and probably I thought I might show you what we're having for dinner this evening and a bit of an update on how we're getting on with the puzzle too. So I'll see you a bit later. Bye! Hello, so my daughter's just been to her swim lesson, and we're now all cozied up back in the car, and we're going to head home and we're going to listen to some Christmas songs on the way home, aren't we? So I'll see you when we get back home.
Yes.
Bye! Hello, we're back from swimming now. It's been quite a busy afternoon, but we had quite a nice journey back from swimming. It went dark while we were inside the swimming building, and on the way back we listened to the Christmas songs, and we really enjoyed seeing some Christmas lights on the houses on our journey home, so that was nice. And it's now coming up to 6 o'clock, and my children are having a little bit of a relax before they go up to bath. And my husband has finished work for the day, which is nice. He had his booster jab yesterday and he's not feeling 100%, so it's good he's finished for the day. And I am in a moment going to go and get my husband and my dinner ready while he does the bath with the children. So I thought I'd try and film that for you so you can see what we're having. We're having one of our favourite dishes, or quite a simple dish, which is whole grain rice with prawns and asparagus. It's not got a lot of ingredients in, and it comes together quite quickly. The only thing I have to do is make sure I get the rice on fairly early, because it takes a while to cook. So I'm going to go and do that now, and I'll hopefully do the video, and then I'll pop back on afterwards and share with you how my son and I are getting on with our jigsaw. So I'll see you in a little bit. Bye! So we've had our dinner now, and while we were eating we watched a bit of MasterChef Professionals. My son's getting quite into watching a bit of MasterChef with us, and we're now going to do a little bit more of the Christmas puzzle. So I'll turn the camera around and show you how we're getting on. So as you can see, we're making good progress. We've been working on a couple of areas. We've been working on this little village scene, and there is a lake by the village, and there's a sort of octopus or some sort of sea creature here breaking out of the water, and an ice skater and all sorts going on there. And we've also been working on this bit down here. There's a choir performing, but their performance is being slightly disrupted by a crash of a couple of lorries. So yeah, we're making good progress, and it's proving to be a lot of fun. So we're going to do a little bit more work on the puzzle now before my son goes up to bed. So I think I'll leave it here for today. So I'll say goodnight, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Bye! Good morning, it is day 16 of Vlogmas now, so it's Thursday morning, and it's coming up to 10 o'clock in the morning right here now. And I've been out this morning. I went to drop the children at school, and then after that I went straight on a walk up to the local supermarket because we needed a few bits from there. And I also went to the post box to post a last couple of Christmas cards, at least I hope they're the last couple I need to do. But I'm back home now, and I've tried to keep today fairly clear because it's the last full day I have with my children at school. Tomorrow they are at school, but I have to pick them up just after lunch, so it's a short day. So yeah, I tried to keep today clear so I could get on with a few Christmassy bits that will be harder to do when they're around, like wrapping some presents. And I'm also hoping to do a little bit of sewing too. But I thought I'd pop on first and share what Elf was up to in the night and also what I'm wearing. So firstly, what Elf was up to in the night. Well, he decided to set up a little cafe in our kitchen, and I'll put a picture up. As you can see, he's written a little menu, and a few of my daughter's dolls have come to be customers, and a couple of them had been served their food and one was waiting for it. So my children helped serve up the final doll her food, and they thought it was quite funny that Elf had decided to set up a cafe and be a bit entrepreneurial. So that's what Elf was up to. And in terms of what I'm wearing, well, I always find it quite useful when I do these videos where I talk about what I'm wearing every day, because it makes me start to realise what I'm wearing more in my wardrobe and what I'm not wearing as much. And I find on the whole, or I found this December, I've been reaching for jersey tops quite a lot and dresses quite a lot, but I haven't been wearing many of my woven tops. I think I always just think that jersey tops be comfy and a bit more practical, but I really like wearing my woven tops too, so I thought I'd get one of those on today. And this one is made using this pattern here. It is the Nielsen Sudley blouse and dress pattern. It's a really nice blouse and dress pattern for woven fabrics. It's a sort of fairly boxy fit blouse or a dress with a gathered skirt that's a bit oversized. And it's got a couple of really pretty details. It's got this little necktie you can see on the model with a little keyhole detail. And you can also add kind of a cute Peter Pan collar too. And I've got the old pattern, but the pattern's since been updated, and it's also got a long sleeve option, because I think you've got a short sleeve option here and this elbow length sleeve option. It's now got a long sleeve option with an elasticated cuff. And as usual with Nielsen patterns, it's got a really good size range. I've got the old style pattern which goes from extra small to extra large, but I think their new ranges are now size 0 to 20, and then the curve range I think is size 14 to 30. So yeah, it's a great size range, and it's a nice one to sew. It's a bit fiddly, particularly with the keyhole detail. I've got my keyhole detail at the back, so I'll turn around so you can see it, hopefully. Hopefully you can see it there. I find on this blouse, I just prefer it at the back. This top is designed to be reversible, and I've tried it both ways around, and I feel it suits me better this way around with this particular fabric. And my version I made in this really cute and viscose fabric. I got it from an online shop called Ditto Fabrics. I think they have a bricks and mortar shop too, somewhere on the south coast possibly. But they stock a really interesting range of fabrics there, so I'll link them down below. But this is a viscose. I think it's an Italian viscose fabric. It's got this really cute kitten print on, and with a black base and little white spots. And I saw this fabric go by on Instagram, and I just had to have it because I thought it was really fun. And for my version of the Sudley, I've actually lengthened the sleeves and added a little elasticated cuff, which is a bit similar to the later version, the pattern that's been released, although I think that has a thicker elasticated cuff. I've just gone for quite a fine elasticated cuff there. Oh, and in terms of sizing on the Sudley blouse, so I've got the old pattern, like I said, and the smallest size on that is for bust 34, waist 26, hips 36. So that's my waist and hips measurement, but a bit larger than me on the bust. I think the new pattern now has a couple of smaller sizes, so I might have sized down if I had that pattern. But actually I find the extra small okay on me. It is fair, there's a fair bit of room in it, but I think because this fabric is really nice and drapey, it's absolutely fine in a slightly larger bust size than I am. And it's quite a comfy one to wear. Actually, I really should reach my woven tops more often, and it's not too cold today, so it's perfect weather for a sort of viscose top. And I'm wearing it with a pair of jeans, and they're just ready to wear. And I'll put up a picture so you can see what it looks like on. I really enjoy wearing this one, and I always get compliments about the kitten print, so yeah, it's a fun one to wear. So that's what I'm wearing. So I think now I'm going to go and get a couple of jobs done and then hopefully get my sewing machine out. I found some really lovely fabric that I thought I might make one more mask for my mum actually. And then I'm hoping to start cutting out my Hovea jackets as well, because I really think I want to get started on that one. I think it'll be a fun project to get my teeth into. So I will leave you now and I'll pop on a bit later and share with you how I'm getting on. So I'll see you a bit later. Bye! Hello, so I am cutting out my lining for my Hovea jacket, hooray! So I thought I'd just show you that I've just started and I've added on the full 1.5 inches length to it. And yeah, I'm going to use my scissors to cut it out. That's my favourite way of cutting out. So I'm going to start cutting it out now and I'll pop on a bit later to show you how I've got on. Hello, it's just coming up to lunchtime here and I thought I'd pop on and share with you how I'd got on this morning. I have now cut out all of the lining pieces for my Hovea jacket, and I thought I'd show you the pattern in case you hadn't watched my videos where I was talking about the pattern. Here is the Hovea jacket pattern by Nielsen. It's one of Megan Nielsen's more recent pattern releases. It's a really lovely jacket pattern that has loads of different options you can make, but I'm planning on making this version here. It's a sort of cropped style jacket with dropped shoulders, and it's got angled pockets and a collar band. So I have cut out the lining pieces and I've cut them out in this really beautiful Liberty Tarnalorn fabric. Here's all my pocket lining pieces. And I think this is called Annabella or Annabelle Tarnalorn. I got it from Minerva, I'll link it down below. But it's really lovely, and I think the pink flowers pick out the sort of pink of the outer fabric I'm planning to use. So yeah, all the lining pieces are cut out now, and then I think after lunch I'm going to try and tackle cutting out the outer fabric. The outer fabric I'm using is a cotton jacquard by Merchant & Mills. It looks quilted, but it's actually, if you look at the back, it's actually made up of lots of different sort of cotton fibres sort of bonded together. So yeah, I think this will be a bit more of a challenge to cut out because I want to make sure that I get all the checks matched up. So I think for the back pattern piece, that pattern piece for the lining I cut on the fold, but I think I might make a mirror image so I can cut that one out flat to make sure I can line up the checks really neatly. But that is a job for after lunch, so I'm going to go and get myself some lunch now, and then I'll carry on then. So I'll see you in a little bit. Bye! Hello, it's now 2:30 in the afternoon, and I thought I'd come on again to share with you that I've cut out all of the pieces of my Hovia jacket now. So I've got the lining and the outer piece all cut out, and I've got them all sitting in a pile in front of me here. And I had read online that the Merchant & Mills cotton jacquard fabric, the outer fabric, does fray quite a bit. So someone online had recommended you overlock around all of the pieces before you start sewing with them. So I think I might do that as a next step, just to make sure I protect the edges of the fabric. But I won't have time now. That'll either be a job for tonight or maybe tomorrow. But I'm really pleased to have got them all cut out now. And I'm really looking forward to starting sewing that one. My husband might be going out tomorrow evening to meet a few friends. One of the local pubs has these little outdoor areas you can sit in. So I think they're going to go and sit there to try and stay a bit COVID safe, but also get together before Christmas. So when he goes out, I generally do like to sew. I think it keeps me busier than sitting on the sofa knitting. So I'm hoping I might start this tomorrow evening. But yeah, I'm really pleased to have got that all cut out. And I thought I'd also share with you the second mask I made for my mum. So when I was choosing the fabric for the lining for this Hovia jacket, I ordered 3 sort of sample pieces of Liberty fabric from Minerva. And when you order a sample from Minerva, you basically get like a 10 centimetre piece of fabric. So you get quite a decent amount and you basically pay for that 10 centimetres. So I got 3 different types of Liberty fabric to choose between. And I was having a look at those strips and I realised they're just wide enough for me to make the 3D face mask that my mum likes. So I fit one into one of those fabrics, and here it is. And I'm really pleased how it turns out actually. I think it's really pretty, and I had this leftover pink jersey, just a few scraps from another project to make the ties, and it ties in really nicely, I think, no pun intended. But yeah, and so yeah, it's just a 3D face mask style like this. And I really like this one actually. I'm quite tempted to keep it for myself, but I don't find this mask shape as comfortable, and I know my mum will like it, so I think I'm going to wrap that one up as well for her for Christmas. But yeah, I thought that was quite good that I just made that out of 10 centimetres of fabric. Well, actually less than 10 centimetres because I didn't use the whole width of the fabric, but yeah, that was a quick sew. Oh, and in case you didn't see my previous video where I was talking about making the different face masks, this is a 3D face mask and I used a tutorial on Instagram to make it, and I'll link the tutorial down below in case you fancy checking it out. It's one of my favourite types of masks to sew because it's quite a quick, simple sew, and you also get to do a bit of top stitching, which I always enjoy. So yeah, I'll put the link down below. So that's what I've been up to this afternoon. I also did a bit of hoovering, and it feels nice to have the house a little bit more clean and tidy, particularly ahead of the Christmas holidays where I know that a bit of chaos and mess will ensue. So I think I'll probably finish this video here and start it processing now so I can get it all uploaded and online a little bit earlier. And I'll be back tomorrow for day 17 of Vlogmas. So thank you so much for joining me for another couple of days in the run up to Christmas. I've really enjoyed having you along in what I've been up to the last couple of days, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. If you have enjoyed this video, I would as ever love it if you give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, as always, I would love it if you would subscribe too. So thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye!